Hey YouTube, this is Adventure Vin, KLR 650 Gen 1 rider, getting ready to go on a Route 66 round trip from Los Angeles to Chicago and back. I'm going to go over the tools that I carry when I do my route, or the tools that I carry on my KLR 650. It's a 2007 Generation 1. Before I get into what I have changed or augmented to the tools I carry, I want to go over what Kawasaki supplies with the KLR when I purchase. So it comes in this little black box here, and it sits right behind the seat, the padded seat, right where the seat meets the luggage rack. So this tucks in right back there, and when you open it up, there's a little nylon strap that secures it. Then when you open it up, this blue vinyl bag holds all the tools. I took the tools out just for expediency for the video. So those two items is how you would find it. Now here's the tools that come into it. The KLR is on a metric system, and if I say inch, if I say 8-inch, I mean 8 metric. So during this video, everything is metric. I do have one that's on the inch scale tool. I'll explain that when I get to it. So let's get started with what Kawasaki provides. First things I want to go over are these larger wrenches. One is 24, one is 19. These are used to take the nuts off the axles so you can remove the tire for tire or tube repair. Both of them slip into this handle, separate handle. As I showed you in the little compartment, they stack to make it very compact in there. So this is going to slide in to give you more leverage and gripping ability. So boom, you got that one going on. And then obviously the 17 does the same thing. I'm sorry, this is, what do I got here, 19, and these are 19 and 24. So we got that, put those aside. One interesting thing, and I forgot to mention it earlier, they got these other two tools. One is a 12-inch, there I go, that's that inch. One's a 12 millimeter, so that's a 12 millimeter on one end. And this one is actually for the, this is the spark plug, and this is, I want to say, 17. Now the interesting thing about these, those are the ends that you're going to use. Now both these ends are also squared, and you will use the, I believe the 17, yeah, you use the 17-inch wrench they provide you as for leverage to turn it. So that would do it for the 12-inch, 12 millimeter, and this one's going to do it for that spark plug socket. So that does two rolls. This tool that I was talking about was a spark plug, also dual rolls as the handle for the two different size Phillips drivers they give you. So these two Phillips drivers, they're different sizes, and they slip into, if you can see that, they slip in, they're really snug and secure. So you got the socket on that end for the spark plug, and then you pop, oh come on, there we go. You pop this in for the Phillips. There are no flatheads involved. So you got these two, boom, like three tools in one on that. And I'm blocking my light. Let me get my lighting a little bit better for me. All right, there we go. So then I think I just talked with dual 17, 14 on this one. An odd looking 8 and 6. 8 and 6, these are squared, so they're not rounded like the other ones I had previously shown you. And this is 1210. Small one, 1210. 10, I use 10 a lot. One Allen driver, Allen hex, Allen wrench thing here, and one slip joint pliers. So I guess everyone should have a pair of slip joint pliers. When I go into what I've replicated, I didn't do a slip joint pliers. I did something else that will probably work better for what I want to use. So let's get on to what I carry. So I beefed it up. I saw this another YouTuber put on. I would really like to acknowledge him, but I forgot who it was. It might have been 40 times around. I don't remember. But this is, I forgot who makes this. I found this on Amazon. It was very inexpensive. Very heavy duty canvas. There's a handle there, 2 snaps. So boom, let's get going on this one. And as tool rolls are, it rolls right out. And there's a quick view of what I keep in it, and I'll go through, I'll pull each one out and explain. So let me go over the easy ones first. So once again, I showed you the metric ones, metric box end wrenches, open end wrenches. So I replaced this. This is my 6 and 8. Got a 6 and 8 there. The 10 is a standalone. I use the 10 a lot. So I got the open end and I got the closed end 12 point on that end, so that satisfies 10 metric. I'm going to keep saying metric so I don't say inch. 12 millimeter. Here's my 12 and 14 millimeter. And what do I got here? I have a 19 and 17 millimeter. Now this one is on the inch, or a standard, I guess. This is a 7/16 and a 3/8. So this is not metric. This is not anything Kawasaki would provide. This is for my accessories, such as the nuts that are holding on the fog lights, the running lights, the LEDs I put on, and also the RAM mount for my GPSs and some other gear that I carry. But I found that this wrench is very, very much utilized for the accessories I put on the bike. So once again, yours might be different, but if you put accessories on, after you put them on, remember what you used and carry that one. If it doesn't fit what you already carry, make sure you carry a replica of that, because those things will vibrate and get loose also. I forgot the granddaddy of them all. This is a 24 and a 22 millimeter. Now Craftsman is a cheaper, heavier route to go to other than the motorcycle ones, but as my budget provides, I'll probably go lighter on these later, but right now this is what's going to get me by. I do carry two, not micro, but two small Phillips and a flathead. This is not necessarily for the bike or the accessories, but it's for other stuff that I do carry on the bike and in my bags. I was surprised at this next one. I had this on me. It's a telescoping inspection mirror, and the ironic thing is that I was just carrying it for the kicks, and when I replaced the skid plate, I actually wanted to look underneath to see some of the fittings when I replaced the skid plate, and this actually helped out. And for how small it is, I figure I'll keep carrying it. You never know when I need it again. And then this is a telescoping magnet that if I drop something inside that skid plate area, I can plunk it out when I play salsa on the bike. More often used in auto mechanics, but small enough that I want to carry it with me. This doesn't need an explanation. It's just a pair of simple vice grips. Now these two I'm going to go over around the same time. This is made by Nipex. That's a German-made product, and this is made by Vice Grip, and it's made by Irwin actually. They both kind of do the same thing, kind of not. See how this one's open like that, and this one's not? It's totally closed. This one closer replicates that slip joint plier that Kawasaki provided, and it moves and it locks really good into place too by pushing this button. I got these at Sears. I'm not sure how much I paid, but haven't used these yet. But I do like the idea. I do like the idea of carrying these. Now when I got these in the mail, this was through Sears, made by Germany, Nipex, and when it came, I was shocked at how small it was, and thought for sure I would never use it. Look how small that is in comparison. Let me get something that is more relevant. Let me just get a regular size wrench. So this is a small item. I used it a lot actually, and I'm surprised on how much I use it. I just thought it'd be more novelty than anything, but I really like how it handles. I'm able to get some of the smaller things easier, well worth carrying, and this is going to be a part of my kit. I was really skeptical when I got it and how small it was. These I've actually used on one trip I did when I was in, I want to say Oklahoma, on a Route 66, a portion of Route 66 I did in the past, and I was adding an accessory, and I just happened to have these, and wire strippers, cutters, and crimpers are kind of, you can get around it sometimes, but for how easy it is to carry, I'm keeping these in my kit. Now this is something I bought at Sears. It's a Craftsman item, and it's one handle that has interchangeable 3 heads to it. I've never really seen it at Sears after this, but right now I got it hooked up to the needle nose. So this is, and they're spring loaded, which is really nice. But the way this works, these 2 silver detent pins, you pop these out, 1, 2. That guy slides out. I want to put the next one in. I'm trying to look at that and look at the camera at the same time. Pop it in, and you're good to go. You know, I'm not going to replicate that process for the third one, but there's the third one right there. There you go. And it just drops right in. Cool, compact. I've used this off and on. I might be able to get away without carrying all 3 heads, but if I have them, I'm going to carry them. So This tool roll, oh, I forgot, and then this is my replacement. One of my replacement Allen wrenches I bring, and this one has a rounded out end to it, which kind of, I'm able to get into angles with it. So I do carry that one, and I carry 2 more Allen wrenches, and the reason why these actually fit into my tank bag that some of you might have seen on a prior video that's on my gas tank. And these are made by the company Nashbar, which actually was for bicycles, and I used to do work on a lot of bicycles in the past. And there are 2 accessories I put on the motorcycle that are very hard to get into, and these just work perfectly. And for how perfect they work and how easy it is to get in and out with these one tools, it's worth carrying the bulk of it. It really is. There's probably 1 bolt I carry for this and probably 4 that I carry for this. But the idea I can get in there and get through the bars, turn it and take it out, saves me a lot of time and hassle, so it's very much worth carrying. One thing I want to point out about this tool roll is that it actually has a compartment for sockets, in which I don't use it for sockets, but this little Velcro thing opens up and you have different sizes for the sockets here. But what I use it for, one is one little box has fuses, and these fuses are to my accessories that I've added to the bike. It has nothing to do with powering the bike, but in case an accessory goes out or blows a fuse, I have extra fuses for that. The next one is this little Anison aspirin can. Pop that open, and this has 4, 2 each of the fuses that do run the motorcycle. And when I get back to the bike on another video, there's actually a spot on the KLR where they have a spare fuse holder. So that would make a total of 5 spare fuses that I have with me. I've never heard of anybody really blowing a fuse at this point, but how small they are to carry and how easy it is to replace, I'd hate for that to be the limiting factor of me getting back on the road. And then in the small pocket, I just pulled out of the camera, in the small pocket here, I have a tire tube valve remover in case I need to get a tire replaced. Now, I do have that tool. I doubt I'll ever use it. I don't have any tire spoons right now. I'm looking at getting them. This was also made by, what's the name of the company? Motion Pro. This is a Motion Pro item. I do want to get some Motion Pro tire spoons. I do not have the skill, technical expertise, or knowledge to change a tube or take a tire off right now. So I'm going to wait till I know more about that. And I'm not going to plan on doing that for my Route 66 trip. I'll plan on that, hopefully have that skill set before I do a Trans-American Trail or the Lincoln Highway. Now, the next set of tools I have, I carry in this canvas Klein pouch, and these pouches from Klein are just freaking awesome. I got mine at Home Depot. They're heavy duty canvas, YKK brass zipper. I've used these for many years, never had an issue with the zipper or the bag. Now what this one is, these are all my drivers and sockets. For every wrench I showed you, I have a socket equivalent, and which in time, I'm probably going to start thinning my tools out because I don't want to be redundant in the weight. Having tools that do dual purpose is great, but I've kind of went to the other side where I'm adding an additional tool for the same purpose. So I do need to consider as I get more experience on what I need to thin out. Before I open up this bag, I'm going to show you an example of the tool tube I have on the bike. So this is just a portion I had to cut away. Right now I have a full length one on the KLR, and this is the inspection cap, and I wanted to get kind of a close-up on this. And how this works is that the inspection cap, once the tools are in, fits right on top of it. You turn this butterfly nut, and as you turn it, this black rubber bushing expands out for a really good seal. So if this was on my motorcycle right now, these tools slide into this ABS plastic like that. So then once they're in, it looks something like this, and then the cap right on top, and I carry, and that's where that carries all my, and there's another rubber cap on the bike that keeps it closed on this end. I don't have inspection caps on both sides. So boom, it's on there. I'll show you really quick. I'm not going to go into detail on this one, but basically it's all the socket equivalents to the wrenches I showed you. So I have a socket equivalent for that. I do carry one breaker bar. This breaker bar works really well to get the, if I ever have to get the rear wheels off. Also, the angle with the new skid plate that I put on to get to my oil drain plug, I can just put it at this really good angle going there and take off that drain plug really easy. So I do like that. A couple other items. I carry a stubby with me. I use this probably more than any other thing when I'm taking off anything with a Phillips, which is a lot of the body plastic. And I thought that the video stopped. And then this is kind of a cool little item. I saw someone on YouTube talk about this. So this is a driver. It looks like a screwdriver, but this is a driver for the sockets. But what's cool about it, this one actually has, and it's not the only one, Craftsman has a set like this too, but it has an end where it actually will work as an extension. So I have a small ratchet, Craftsman ratchet on this end. So I can use it solely by itself to put a socket on. So there you go. Socket's on. I go to work. And if I need more torque, then there I go. I got a ratchet that snaps in the back. So these are one of those tools by example of what one tool is serving two purposes. A driver and an extension. I did replace, this is a heavier one than what comes stock. So this was the socket, this was the spark plug wrench I was talking about earlier that came with the KLR. I replaced it with this Craftsman that has the driver on the back. And this is 18 millimeters. 18 millimeter for the, it's an 18 millimeter for the KLR spark plug. And I have some other odds and ends in there. Some of them are adapters, some are extensions. This thing works if I had low clearance and I wanted to put a socket on. This little hex nut looking thing. So I put this on. Now the socket is hooked up to there. And if I wanted to use one of the wrenches for low clearance, I just have to find the right one. But I think you guys get the idea. Now I'm determined. What the heck? Nope, not 17. I think I just may have found a chink in my chain. That is something else. That is something else. I'm very upset about that. Yeah, I can't. Well, that's a good thing doing the video. So basically, I don't know what size head that is, but ideally you would have that, and you would slide another wrench on it to manipulate it, and I don't have a wrench that fits it. Son of a gun. I gotta go check that one out. All right, I'm not gonna waste any more time on that one. One thing I did want to mention on the tool tubes was the first one I put on was this big one, and this one spans 4.5 inches from end to end. When I put it on the KLR, unfortunately, the front tire started digging into it, which isn't good for the tire or the tool tube itself. So I went ahead and I took off this bigger one and I put on the size that I have now, which is about 3.5 inches from end to end. So I did see somebody put this size on the KLR. They might have put it lower to accommodate the wheel clearance, but this one's working fine for me right now, so I'm gonna go with that. And the last thing I want to mention, and I want to keep this video under 20 minutes, is really quick thread lock. So the KLR vibrates a lot of bolts, screws will work their way out. So I started with Threadlock Blue, which worked great. Threadlock Blue is great. I highly recommend Threadlock Blue of anything that you do need to take off and on the bike, but it seems to rattle on itself out without this. So use Threadlock Blue on a lot of things that that you're taking off and on the bike, a lot of the fittings. I thought if Threadlock Blue worked well, I thought Threadlock Red would even be better. Now Threadlock Red is called high strength, Threadlock Blue is called medium strength, but the one or two things I did with Threadlock Red are in there for good. They are very, very difficult to get out. In fact, one time I tried to back out one nut, or rather one bolt that I used with Threadlock Red, and unfortunately I stripped it out and I had to go through all kinds of pain to get that bolt out. So if you don't ever want to thread or back something out again, you want that in for the rest of your life, use Threadlock Red. Other than that, go with Threadlock Blue. You're not going to have any problems with the KLR. So that's it. Quick and dirty on the tools I carry. I'm probably going to thin it out a little bit. Actually doing the video, I found one thing that's not working for me, so I'll rectify that and see where it goes from there. So this is Adventure Vin. I'm signing off for now. Don't forget, life's an adventure, so make your journey a good one. Like, subscribe, most importantly, get out there and ride. Have a great day.